Joining us now live from London, he's the U.S. Men's National Player of the Year, star defenseman Chris Richards. Chris, thanks for joining us. We're 100 days out from the World Cup. This is sort of a silly question. How do you prepare 100 days out? Are you just locked in on Crystal Palace, or are there sort of benchmarks for you to do as you prepare for your first game?
Yeah, you kind of try to take it one game at a time. I still have the rest of my season here at Crystal Palace, and we still have a lot to play for. But I think, everybody's North Star is this World Cup that's coming up in a few days, So, I'm super excited for it. But right now, I'm just trying to take it one game at a time, one training at a time.
So one of the cool things about the World Cup or the Olympics is sports that people, a lot of people that watch our show, maybe their favorite is the NFL or the NBA, but they get to know athletes, whether it's the U.S. men's national hockey team or soccer team this time of year and their stories. So I want you to kind of tell us a little bit about yourself in this regard. So you're a kid from Alabama whose dad was a pro basketball player, over throughout Europe, I think, and you're also you're a big guy. So I would imagine growing up, a lot of people assumed you're from Birmingham, you might play football, American football, you might play basketball. How did you go from, a kid born in Birmingham to Germany and now to Crystal Palace in England as a professional soccer player? What was that journey?
Yeah, I played every sport growing up, but I primarily played basketball and soccer until I was about 16 years old. And, I was, believe it or not, I was, always kind of a smaller kid. I didn't really hit my growth spurt until the year I moved away from home. So the year I quit basketball, that summer, I grew like 7 inches.
Wow.
And so my dad came to see me and he was like, "Oh, like, you sure you don't want to keep playing basketball?" But my decision was already made. But I went to Hoover High School, so it's very much football is powerhouse. And so for some reason I decided to not play, but I loved going to high school football. I loved watching college football. I'm an Alabama fan, Roll Tide. But I had a unique journey. Not many people from Birmingham make it to where I am right now. So
yeah.
I'm really glad, and I'm really thankful for how I got there.
You may not know the answer to this, but has your success and fame as a soccer player, has that led to any more popularity of soccer in Birmingham, or maybe more young kids playing it?
Yeah, selfishly, I want to say yeah. I don't know if it's just me, but I think now that soccer is becoming a lot more mainstream back home, especially with the World Cup coming, it's really important for me that I also continue to grow the game. I think one of my kind of mantras I live by is, aspire to inspire. So I want to be the reason why a kid, from Birmingham or anywhere around the world, but I guess specifically in Birmingham, picks up a soccer ball. And so, for me, it's nice to go back home and see more kids playing soccer, more people speaking about soccer. So if you want to attribute it to me, then so be it. But I think it's just kind of the culture that we're living in.
All right, so you guys open up with Paraguay on June 12th. All right, last time you played them in a friendly, it ended in a bench clearing brawl. All right, and then you got Australia a week later. And we know when you played them in October, it got chippy. You actually said they're lucky it was a friendly. So, is there bad blood between you guys and these nations, or, what should we expect in these matchups?
Yeah, I'm glid you didn't get the full quote on that.
I was going to say, I had the full
quote.
I had the full quote, Brew, ready to go, put you on the spot. But it was worse, but it was like, oh, here we go.
No, but that's the thing, though. This is something I'm passionate about, and I think it makes it even more passionate whenever you have that USA on your chest. So for me, you can call it bad blood, but every team we go out there and play against, we want to beat badly. So, if they want to bring a fight to us, so be it. But I think that's one of the things that makes us American is that we're not afraid of any fights. So, again, that's kind of the mentality that we've adopted over the last few years, and especially now playing on home soil, I feel like we have a lot more to play for. So again, it's just, you can call it bad blood, but I think every team we play is a rivalry. We want to beat every team, and we want to make a statement while doing it.
So
Let's go.
I know, I'm into
I like it. I like it. Yes.
Is there any carryover strategically from playing Australia and Paraguay now that they're also in the group stage? You're like, oh, they did this, or is it too much change? Is there anything you can take away from those friendlies?
It's kind of hard because, in friendlies, sometimes, teams might not want to show their full face. So, you tend not to think too much about the players, but you tend to think about kind of how they play and the style that they play in. Again, the World Cup, everything's even more elevated. So, I guess tensions are going to be higher, pressure is going to be higher. So, you tend not to think too much on the friendlies, but it does give us some sort of comfortability knowing that we have played them within the last 6 or so months. So again, I think once you get to the World Cup, it's a bit different. But overall, I think it gives us, like I said, a bit of comfort knowing that we played these teams.
I'm interested in something you alluded to in your first answer, which is because you're in the EPL and so many of the best players in the English Premier League are on their nation's World Cup rosters. And it is a very unique, it happens every 4 years, but thing in sports where it's the toughest league in the world. Winning that championship is some would argue the most prestigious regular season, title across all sports in the world. But all the best players in the league know that here in a couple months, something far greater and bigger is taking place. And it's not like it's only a couple of you guys going to the World Cup. It's the vast majority of the best players. So I know this is your first experience being, involved in both in the league and the World Cup. But how does that impact these next couple months of EPL play where guys, nobody wants to get dinged up right before they're playing for their country, but also your team is paying you. Like, it's such a unique thing to your sport. How does that work?
Yeah, like you said, it's unique, and it's something that I think I'll quickly find out. I think, like you said, nobody wants to get hurt, especially going into a World Cup that's right when the season ends. But like I said, there is still a lot to play for. So I think it's finding that medium. I think it's almost when you don't go hard, that's when injuries start to happen. So me personally, I plan on going until the wheels fall off and then going a little bit more. Because like I said, this could be a career-defining year for me, and not just that, but it could also be a nation-defining year. Hopefully, winning a World Cup on home soil would be a beautiful thing, and that's what I plan on doing, and that's what I know our group of guys wants to do as well.
So you mentioned the home soil. I don't know how much you're familiar with like the nitty-gritty history of the World Cup, but 13 of the 22 host nations have made at least the semis. There are 8 countries where their best finish ever was the year they hosted the World Cup. So what would you attribute that to? Is it a legitimate home field advantage of the crowd, of the energy? Is it the added, pressure in a good way of we're hosting, this is our moment? Like, why do you think it has been such a decided home field advantage for host nations?
I think pride, I think,
Pride.
You can talk about, fans and this and that, but at the end of the day, it's the World Cup and there's gonna be fans from every country in the world there. So, and it's gonna be majority split. So I think knowing that you're playing in front of the country that whose flag you're wearing, knowing that, you're playing for more than just yourself, I think it has to be pride. That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, I think, again, you can speak about quality of players, you can speak of fans, you can speak of, A through Z, but I think just knowing that you're playing at home, knowing that everybody's gonna be watching you, knowing that your family's gonna be there supporting you, knowing that the whole nation has your back, I think that's what it is.
So you're gonna likely be playing against some of your Crystal Palace teammates, and obviously, as we saw earlier, you're not afraid to talk trash. So has the trash talking already started in the locker room?
Man, it has to. It has to. As soon as everybody saw the draws, we were texting. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I think one of our assistant coaches at Palace, he's used to play for Australia, and so I've given him a little bit since the draw came out. But regardless, it's all fun and games until we get to the World Cup, and then there's no teammates. So it's right now, I'm enjoying all the banter, all the jokes, this and that. But like I said, once summer comes around and we're playing for our countries, then we know it's time to go.
I don't want to gloss over what we have in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. You were our nation's team player of the year. What was your reaction when you heard that? And who was the first person you called to tell you had won it?
I was kind of stunned, to be fair. I feel like some people saw my reaction and think that I didn't think too much about it, but I think I was more stunned than anything. I feel like I had a good year, but I feel like I still have another level to go. I'm not content, I guess, with the year I had. I always want to keep doing more. So, for everybody to have voted for me to be Player of the Year, it meant a lot, especially with the group of names that was on there before me. It really was really special to me. I remember calling my mom and my family, they were all nearby, so I told them all at once. It was great. It was amazing because, again, like you said, not many people think of Birmingham as this kind of soccer hotbed. And, I guess with all the adversity, with all the stigmas, I think being able to come from Birmingham and being the first one from Birmingham to have won this award, it means a lot.
Well, thanks for your time, Chris. Best of luck. We'll see you in the friendly March 28th against Belgium, right? You're going to play that one? Excellent.
Definitely.
All right. Well, we're all rooting for you, the entire country. So best of luck, and go beat Tottenham for Crystal Palace.
Thanks, Chris.
In the
Thank
meantime.
you so much.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
100 days to the World Cup. Our coverage continues right here on FS1.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.